All right, so welcome to another episode, Sudden Change Podcast. Your boy Beans here. We got JA.
Been a
How's
while,
everything
man.
going today? Yeah, it's been a
Everything's
long
good, man.
while.
It's ready for football to come back around. That's all, man. Long off season.
Very long off season. We really haven't touched on much of anything as far as the off season goes, so let's jump into it. Starting at the top, you got a new head coach, Stefanski. How'd you feel about that move?
I'm okay with it. Um, Tough situation to come into, instability at the quarterback position. We actually traded a first round pick, so um, I'll take it. You know what I mean? I think we just need someone, that can kind of just rally the troops, really. Like I feel like we've had players in places, we've had teams that can compete. We just can't finish. So he's not, the sexy hire as everyone will call it, especially, with the stuff that was going on in Cleveland, but
Yeah.
new scenery, different team get away from that. I feel like now with Matt Ryan in the building, our front office is probably a little bit more stable. Kind of got away from a lot of guys. We had a real overhaul of the front office. So hopefully that pays dividends and we can sneak some W's out that, we should have had last year that would have put us in the playoffs that, we let get by us. So hopefully he can get us over that hump.
Yeah, so you said the quarterback situation. When is what's your starter's name? I forgot the starter's name. When is he
Oh,
gonna be back?
Penix.
Penix, yeah.
Um,
When
they
is Penix gonna be
they
back?
he's out there right now for, OTAs and all that stuff, mini camp. He's been throwing the ball, you know how teams do. If they really don't want you to see something, they know how to, navigate around that. Guess we won't know till training camp, I guess, to see how he's moving around, fully. But he looks good from, what they've shown him being around the facility, moving around, working out, throwing the football. So, time will tell with that one.
And that's supposed to be Stefanski's thing, right? He's the quarterback guy, supposed to take quarterbacks to the next level.
I don't know, not necessarily. I think he's worked with them, but I don't know if that's his expertise. I know he's always had a guy there with him. Him bringing in a quarterback coach. Now our OC is a former quarterback, so I think just having those guys with him compared to what we had last year pays big dividends for Penix and for Tua. I
That's
think
was there. Yeah.
having two of the three left-handers in the league on our team, I think it makes it easier for the guys around.
Yeah.
Um, because guys are just catching balls from the left-handed guys now. So it's not like we had Kirk there, which is a different type of thing. Guys said
Yeah.
so.
Big difference.
Um, Full off season for both of those guys with same personnel. I think I'm just hoping it helps both guys.
Yeah. So speaking of free agency, talk to me about the moves you made and how you think they'll affect the team. We can start with Tua since you brought him up.
Honestly, Tua for $1 million, man. Like
Yeah.
you'd be a fool not to. If you can get him to play at the level he played 2 years ago, where that offense seemed unstoppable. Now he pairing with one of the top tier running backs in the league. Drake London is up and coming at receiver. Get Pitts to play off his past season. Second team,
Season.
second team all NFL. So I mean, you just hope that you can restore some of his mechanics and we can get him back to playing how he played. And for Penix, it's like this regime is not tied to you. They didn't draft you. The regime that did, they're out the door now. So it's either Penix is the future, or what, Tua for $1 million don't sound too bad as your plan B. So it sucks to be in QB land like that, but to the best guy, man, make sure. Hey, good luck if you win. The offseason pickups were cool.
Well, before you go to the rest of the pickups, I don't know, your tones about Penix sounds a little bit weird. You don't sound fully confident. Like,
I just don't know if he's helped. I haven't seen him. Like he tore his ACL again. It was
yeah.
his other, it happened before, but this was the one from college. I just don't know. I love Penix as a quarterback. Like when he's on his game and he's balling, I think Penix is our QB1. But I'm okay if he's not. If Tua can play how he played a couple years ago, like
Yeah.
that's not a bad second option if he can play ball. They both have injury concerns, health wise. So to the best man wins. I definitely want Penix to be the guy, but I also understand that there's a chance he may not be.
That's fair. So what about the other moves? What'd you like, what you didn't like as far as off-season free agency?
So I love our new GM. Like he came in straight up like we already behind the eight ball with picks. So he had to prioritize how we move in the offseason and in the draft. Went into the draft with 5 picks, left with 6 players. So I can deal with that. We brought in Brian Robinson for Bijan, backup running back. I'm okay with that. We traded for Sidney Brown, a depth piece at corner, which kind of led to the draft being that we'll probably draft the corner, which we did. And I think they just plugged in a lot of holes, man. Like where we lacked in depth last year, bringing in Christian Harris, bringing in a couple of DNs, offensive line help. Our right tackle abruptly retired. He got injured last year, so like right before the season started. So McGarry goes and we bring in Jawan Taylor. Like it's not the picks that you would think like, oh, he'll do something, but that's what we didn't have last year. Like we had a major issue at tackle, so bringing a couple guys in, I felt we weren't far off. Like we went 8-9, but if you ask
Yeah,
me the games that we should have won, we lost to the Jets, we lost to the Dolphins. Um,
got to beat those
we
teams.
we lost last second to the Panthers. We lost a couple last second games. Last second to the Colts in over there, overseas. You flip those games around, man. We're easily like a 11-6 team. So um, hopefully these guys, our depth pieces can, add more to the table, and our superstar players can be superstar players for us.
Yeah. So before we get into draft, as you're talking about, the difference between playoffs and not the playoffs, your division, I don't know if it got better as a whole, but the Panthers being good now makes that division so much tougher. So how does that change the dynamics of the division with 4 good teams now?
So,
Or
I
well, the
mean,
Saints are, but three and a
but
half.
listen, I think the Saints had one of the better off seasons. I
Yeah.
think the Panthers are there. Like the Panthers won the division, but
Yeah.
we all finished 8-9 except for the Saints. We literally lost the division because we lost the last second game to the Bucks. We lost that game. I think everyone got better, and the Saints are probably. I mean, the Panthers won a division, but I think the Saints have shown in the Bucks. I think every team has shown like the capability of winning the division. So now it just puts more emphasis on those 6 games that we have. Like you got to win those first. You got
Yeah,
to win the division, and I
for
think
sure.
people be surprised about how much better the division is overall.
Yeah. So what did you do in the draft? And do you think between the draft and the free agency moves, will you be able to get back to the top of the division?
Absolutely. I feel like we were right there in the division, whether we made it or not. Like we tied for the number one for the best record in the division. Picking up Avion Terrell, AJ Terrell's brother, him being
All that.
opposite him. Love that move. Zachariah Branch from Georgia. We need a speed at receiver. Mooney was that guy, but he was in and out the lineup. He was hurt for his 2 seasons. Didn't finish year one, and last year he was hurt from the first day at training camp. One of the first days in pads. Picking up him, Harold Perkins, I think is going to be a Swiss Army knife at linebacker. Him and Daniels, like, I mean, I like the moves. I think they went for guys that are going to have to play right now, and I think those are guys that can on day one play. So, it's going to be tough. You know what I mean? Like everyone got weapons. You look around the division, see what guys added. With the Panthers and Saints and Buck. Like, I'm just happy to see Mike Evans out the out the
Yeah.
division, but like,
Yeah.
they, but the Bucks were preparing for that. They got
Yeah.
receivers for the last couple of
Ibuka.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got receivers for the last couple of years that are ready to step up, and it's going to be a dogfight in the division, but that's why we like to have it.
So if you had to put a grade on your off season, everything, coach, free agency, draft, what would you grade it?
Um, I would say a C plus, B minus, just because we didn't have the first round pick. We didn't have the first round pick, and that changes everything for us. We traded
Yeah.
it for James Pierce, and he's got his legal issues right now. He's fighting
Yeah.
through. That was our first rounder, but like he played as a first round player last year.
Yeah. Fair.
Um, so hopefully he can, find his way back and rehabilitate himself. And I'm okay with that. But like that would have been a nice piece to add on to our team, especially what the first round looked like this year and seeing what guys went. seeing where we would have been, and then seeing guys in the division go to like Ruben Bain, when Miami
Yeah.
got he goes to the Bucks, and then one of our best players that was up for the Thorpe, he goes to the Bucks, Keontae Scott. So it's like that's tough to watch.
Yeah. Could have been
Brazil
you.
going to the Panthers, Tyson going to the Saints. So we got our work cut out, man.
Yes, it'll definitely be a interesting division. I was really shocked that the Panthers found a way to get it done. Um, just to shift to the Packers a little bit, no offseason. Um, I was surprised that we held on to LaFleur after that meltdown in the Bears game. Um, Especially with a new regime coming in at the very top. That was the perfect time to like just hard restart. They kept him, they kept the GM. So I think he got a lot to prove because we've had the talent for ever since he's been there. We just can't get over the hump. So I am interested to see how short his leash is with this new regime. We lost Halfley, who I thought was the best coach on the staff.
So I
Um,
thought I thought maybe they get rid of him and promote him. I thought I just felt like he had head coach written on him, like he was just
yeah,
there just to build his resume, and
yeah,
then he would, which kind of looked like it happened. Like 2 years of Halfley, and then he's got a HC job. LaFleur is one of the best. It's just why can't you just get over that hump is tough though. It's not the easiest hump. Like I think your best year was one of the home games you had. I think he was there with Brady, right? When Brady came into town, was he there?
Um, I want to say so. Yeah, that was towards the end of Rodgers being there. I want to say we should have
Okay,
the year we should have
that
beat Tampa
one,
Bay. He was there.
a couple Niners games, especially the block punt one. Like,
Yeah,
but I
back to
don't think
back.
he values special teams. I think how we talk, like he don't want to talk to kickers and stuff. Maybe you need to start checking on these dudes.
That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. Like, I don't talk to the special teams. I don't talk to the kickers. Like, if you talk to the special teams guys, maybe we would have won those games
Maybe
because
they're
a lot
looking
of
for that.
games.
Maybe they want to hear from you, like coach. Like, tell me I'm doing great. They're grown men, but they still have feelings, bro.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was on TikTok talking about was the fact that we drafted a kicker after we just gave McManus more years on the contract. And a lot
We
of people are
cut him
saying,
though.
McManus cost us the season, a lot of that. And he did miss. He missed the field goals in the playoffs. But outside of that game, he really wasn't bad. And also, we never should have been in a position to have to rely
Put
on the
him out
kicker
there.
because we were up by so many points. So I can only put so much on him. But we drafted a kicker. They clearly think he's the kicker of the future because they let McManus go the other day.
Now
Um,
my thing is he's a rookie, so it's like,
exactly.
what do you,
That's my.
what,
I'm scared of that.
what do you put him in Chicago -10? Like, what do you like? You gonna be mad he missed, or just hey, Rook? Like, you might want to talk to him. Like, did he
Yeah.
draft call him? I hope he did. He get a draft call from LaFleur?
Yeah. We at least got a new special teams guy. The old guy is out finally.
Who
But
did you
yeah,
have
we don't have
before?
a great. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He came from the Raiders.
Versace?
We started with a B. Yeah,
Versace?
yeah.
But he's supposed to be good at that too.
He
Like,
was
that's supposed
supposed
to
to
be
be the
his.
guy. He was
Dang.
supposed to be the guy. So I don't know. But yeah, we lost a lot in free agency, and even before free agency, we traded Gary. We lost Clay, lost Elton Jenkins. We lost a bunch of starters, but we also filled in a couple of roles. Went and got Hargrave from, or is it Hargrove from Minnesota? He'll be
Okay,
solid, but
the D
he's not
tackle.
what he
Yeah,
was when he was young. Yeah, he's serviceable.
yeah.
We went and got Franklin from the Colts, so I don't know if he's going to be Quay. I don't know if at this age, but he's solid. And then we went and got the corner St. Juice, who I don't think will be a starter. I think he will definitely help with depth. But then again, when you got Keyshawn Nixon and you got Valentine, who knows who's going to start? And we went ahead and drafted a corner who I really like from South Carolina. So
Okay.
to be interested, I
And he
don't
let
know.
Nixon tell it. Nixon, the starter, boy. He let him tell it.
He's CB. If you let him tell, he's CB1. He I have disdain for him. He thinks he's way better
Is
than
it
he is.
Fournette this thing? Is it Fournette this thing? Or is it like
It's getting up
Goldsmith
there.
in MLB? Is it Goldsmith MLB?
It's about the same. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know when you hate guys, boy, it's just like there's nothing he can do to like make you happy.
Yeah, but I think our overall the offseason was decent. I think it really is gonna fall on what the new DC does. I'm not particularly familiar with them. I think we got Gannon is right from he was in Arizona before. Pretty
Oh,
sure that's
okay, okay. The
yeah.
former head coach.
So he has the head coach experience, which LaFleur said he values in his coordinators. I'm just not familiar enough with his defense, and especially when we had such a good defense with so little last year with Halfley, it's kind of big shoes to fill. So I don't know if you know more about him and his scheme and all that stuff.
So he was with Philly. He got to the bowl. That's the one they lost when
Yeah,
Mahomes came back. They got to the bowl, but their defense that year, but also they had like they led the league and like they had like five guys with like 10 plus sacks. Like it was crazy.
you're gonna need it.
So yeah, like if he could get that same kind of production out of those guys, like he's he's a good disguise type of guy. If you can't get to the quarterback, then you just that changes the whole defense. So if you got guys that can get after the quarterback, that changes everything on the back end, which is his specialty. So I mean, it should work well because he's got less off his plate. He could just focus on defense, whether he's just trying to be in charge of a whole team. So it should work.
Yeah, we saw it made a difference because when Michael was there, our cornerbacks looked great. As soon as he went down, Nixon was getting eaten up every game. So it makes a difference for sure.
That half a
Um,
second you could get to the quarterback compared to now you got to run a couple stunts. It don't. Hey, you're on an
yeah,
island now, so yeah,
for
that's tough.
sure. So overall, offseason, I'd probably give us a B. Filled some holes, got a lot older. We've been like the youngest team in the league or towards the top of the youngest teams for ever since the floor has been there. So I think it's good to get some veterans in there and just see how they mesh with the young guys. Oh, we also got rid of we didn't re-sign Dobbs, and we traded Wicks. So everybody in the wide receivers room should have a defined role now. I know there was
Yeah,
chatter of like people didn't like their roles last year. You got
Golden. You
three.
could tell
Everybody.
Golden was Golden was like he
so
wanted to retire already, bro.
so everybody
Traded Wicks,
go.
you got and Dobbs left in free agency, right?
Yeah, so those were two of our well, Dobbs was, but Wicks, we couldn't find a role for him. And I'm sure he was one of the guys that wasn't happy and we got rid of him. So Watson, Reed, I don't forgot the kid's name right. But the kid we just
Golden,
mentioned, the rookie.
Golden.
Yeah, it's
I
I think
think
that's
that's
a good
better
three.
for them. I think you had too
Yeah,
many of the same guys doing the
yeah,
same thing. So it's like if Wicks is doing it, like you don't need that from Golden. Or I think Watson's the only one that separates himself from that group because of what he could do
yeah.
vertically. Most of those guys are, put them in motion, run them on an over route or, some type of intermediate. But now I think that clears the wide receiver room for Reed and Golden to do their thing. And then Watson, being your top guy on the outside.
Agreed. Yeah, I think the offense can be very good if the floor can, do what he needs to do. As soon as we get Kraft back, that's four good options. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, so just staying on the draft in general, are there any teams that you thought had great drafts? Any teams that you thought had poor drafts?
Uh, I know we say poor draft. It's hard to say that because guys you probably think that is not a good pick end up being it.
Sure.
But just on paper, I think the Raiders, they had about 10 picks. I think the Raiders had a great draft. They
Agreed.
got the question mark McCoy at corner, but if he's healthy, if he's anything how he should be, that kid is probably one of the top corners, if not the top corner in the draft. Injuries, history. So I know they were saying like, he's got, probably an issue in the knee. But him, along with Mike Washington being a backup running back to what's his face?
Genty?
Genty. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a solid 1-2 punch. And then they get to do the tackle from A&M Zune. He was great. He had a tough game against Miami, because he was talking. That was our first round game, but his season, all around was like very solid. And then you add in Trey Dan Stoops, who's one of my top like safety nickel type guys. I think he's can play anywhere in the back end, almost like an Eamon Worry type of player, but a little under him. But I think he's got the same type of capabilities of playing in the back end like that. So,
Yeah.
and if Mendoza's your guy, we'll see. I think he, will end up being, obviously QB1. But I love their draft.
Yeah, I thought the Raiders had a great draft. And I did the post about best drafts. I took the Raiders and I also like what the Cowboys did. I think they definitely needed defense when it got the safety, got some rushers. I think the offense is you got players on offense. We know that they got offense, but if it's on the defense, and that's a tough division. Um, when the Eagles are clicking, once Jaden Daniel comes back with Washington, and I think the Giants are going to be better this year too. Once everybody gets healthy, they
Absolutely.
got a lot of young talent. So if that defense can hold up, they can be I don't want to say contender, but they will have a chance to win a division maybe. So I like what Dallas did. Any teams that confused you? I'll say as far as the Jags go, I was thrown off when they took the tight end in the second round when they got
Yeah.
Strange there. So that was interesting. There's one other team I gotta remember. What'd you think?
Cardinals for me. I mean, they took
Yeah,
love, but then it's like after that, it's like, I mean, they have a lot of holes on the team, so you got to start somewhere. It was just, I think they could have went with better guys than where they got guys. But like
even
time will
Love
tell.
was interesting to me,
Very because they
given their
signed,
situation.
but you that like I get it. You got to get your guy because like we had Algier. Algier signs with Arizona, then they draft him, but you also brought back Connor. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's like what are we doing? Like
Yeah.
I mean, are those guys going to be trade candidates maybe? But yeah, is Love on the the level of a Bijan and Gibbs? Like is first round back? Like I don't know. Like Love is a great player. Like I've seen him, but I don't know if he has that in him. And that division is tough. Like that division,
Oh, for sure.
man. Like the Super Bowl champs are there. The Rams who could have been in the Super Bowl, a couple bounces go their way. The Niners are probably gonna, they're gonna get healthy and they're always around. Like
Yeah,
I think last year was a down year for them, and they still had a chance to win the division.
yeah,
A week, the last week of the season. So um, it'll be tough. I think. I mean, if that's your guy, that's your guy. Trust your scouting, trust all that. But I definitely had a little head scratcher with a couple of the guys they drafted.
yeah. They drafted Beck, right?
Yes,
Cardinals.
yes.
Do you think there's a path for him to be the guy of the future?
If he's 100%, I don't know if he trusted his arm with us, which kind of allowed teams to stick around with us. Like I feel like with Beck, if he missed the whole spring, he came around summer, and then once he wasn't unsure of himself, we kind of had to like change the offense a little bit. So like that's kind of where it led us to losing two games because we couldn't really depend on his arm, but he has all the tools to be an NFL quarterback. He has the size. When his arm is good, like he can make every throw, and he's accurate, and he's a winner. Like he's won everywhere he's been. So it could be, but I don't know if he's beating out Brissett right now. I don't know. I feel like Brissett is just your prototypical backup that can play starter games for you when you're in a bridge period. So can he beat out Brissett? I mean, that remains to be seen because I think Brissett can play some good ball.
Yeah.
Um, he throws for like 400 in the L. Like is he put up numbers now, so it's crazy. So I mean, I think Beck could, but I don't know. I don't know right out the gates if he would. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Beck maybe has a higher ceiling if everything is going the way it should. Brissett, you kind of know what you're gonna get from him. He's not super talented, but he's also gonna keep you in the games. So I think there's a shot for him depending on how quickly
You're
he
also
comes
going to get your
around.
stats too. You're going to get your stats too, because the way
It's a
he
lot
was,
of it's
did
a
you end
lot
up with
of at
McBride?
the
You
end of the
ended up
game.
McBride, right?
I did, yes. I loved having
Yo,
McBride. Yeah,
yo, it's like
yeah.
25
So
targets, bro.
yeah,
And whoever that Michael Wilson is, he went crazy too. I'm just like, what? Like, yeah, my radar is on, bro. I tell
yeah.
you that.
Yeah, so speaking of, fantasy a little bit, I was explaining on TikTok to the people that, we have the rule in our league that you start a rookie every week in the flex. So is there any rookies that you think ended up in a really good spot in terms of what they'll be able to do real life and fantasy wise?
Ooh,
I know you don't want to give too much, but what you could
yeah.
give.
It just depends what the Eagles are going to do at tight end. I think Eli Stowers can be a great piece. I think he's good like that. There's a lot of receivers that are in places that I just got to see how camp goes. Like,
Mm.
what is Carnell Tate going to do in Tennessee? What is Jordan Tyson going to do in New Orleans? Chris Brazell and like, there's guys everywhere. Skylar Bell, he's with Buffalo, and you know me, I don't really like brothers going to Buffalo. It get cold. They got a new stadium coming though. Got a new stadium coming. So
Yeah,
Skylar Bell from UConn. He's
yeah, yeah. I
a
miss hearing that name
quiet
a lot.
piece. He's a quiet piece, but he could ball. There's some. I don't want to really go down my rookie
No, I
list.
get you. As long as you throw out some names,
Yeah,
I,
I
I
think,
think
but yeah, I'm just saying. I think there's a few rookies in some places that can, even in Baltimore, like maybe one of those guys can step up, and Cleveland's got a couple. So it's like if D. Watt or Shador is the guy, like which rookie stands up.
knows about that situation.
But I think there's a few that, as we get, further on into the summertime, that we could talk about guys that can, be a day one type of, standout player for fantasy.
No, I think there are a lot of guys that are in good spots. I will say, I think I forget his name, the running back that went to Seattle. I think that's a great spot. I don't know how long
Jadarian
Zach is gonna.
Price,
Yeah, I don't know how long Zach is gonna be out, but he has, a clear path to being
his
the
whole
guy from
summer
day
is
one. Yeah,
your whole summer is going to be getting RB1 reps, most
yeah. So
likely. So it's like you could get a stranglehold on, and then when Zach comes, I'm pretty sure he's a rookie. I'm pretty sure they'll do a committee, but like you have a chance to, cement yourself as the number one guy.
yeah, at least at the beginning of the season, he should get a lot of work. Maybe they'll even out into the timeshare when Zach is fully healthy. But I thought that's one example of a rookie that's in a good situation. More on fantasy. We got the draft order. Now it's set. And surprisingly, you took the first pick. You are a guy who loves to be at the end 9, 10. What was your rationale about taking one when you never want to be at the beginning?
Something different, man. I just feel like the years that I've had 9, 10, I don't know if it's I'm just thinking, this is my theory. The scheduling is like when I'm at 9, 10, I get the worst of the worst like against. Like
Mm.
every time I'm 9, 10, I've given up either second most or the most points against in the matchups. Now, if you flip it and see who's been 1, 2, 3, which has been like Chance, Los, those guys haven't been. So I'm
Yeah.
praying it's a schedule, and I also get my guy. Like I get my guy at one, and then I fill my roster, and I have every pick this year. So not having a fourth last year really hurt because I kind of had to reach around a little bit, and then that fourth is a solid spot to really get your second guy, whether it's your first tight end, your second running back, or your second receiver. I had to go quarterback, and then James Cook having a breakout year makes my quarterback look even funny. So it's tough, but hey, let's just start the draft off with me, and then we go from there.
So again, I know you don't want to give too much, but when you're one, it doesn't. I don't think it really even matters if people know what you're going to do because they got to adjust to you. You don't got to adjust to them.
Absolutely.
But I'll ask you right now, looking at it, not necessarily who your top guy is, but who your no particular order, who your top three guys might be.
At one, my top three is probably uh so who's Los's two, who's three? Is it Casey?
I don't even have it in
I
front
have
of
it.
me.
Hold on. I'll go back and look at some point. I can't. I want to say he's three or four. It's got to be Chase, Bijan, or Gibbs. I think one of those three are probably be. I think just now he's got a different backup behind him. He's got Pacheco, so I think it'll be even more clear of a RB1 role than him with Montgomery.
Mhm.
But I think those three kind of like solidify themselves as being number one. Yeah, I don't. I mean, who else would? I think the years of like Jetta's being there now is different.
Definitely.
We got 10 minutes. Yeah, just for the simple fact that um, quarterback situation. Like he's got Kyler now, but can you trust it? Like so yeah, I think those three are probably in front of the race.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Did a video the other day. I said I thought for me, if I was at one, I probably would take Gibbs given the situation now. But Bijan to me is right there. I understand the argument for Chase, but there's kind of too many variables for me. I wouldn't want to take a wide receiver first, especially when you got such versatile guys as Gibbs and Bijan. But people were in the comments saying Chase, Chase. So I mean, I get it.
Yep.
Um, you mentioned Justin Jefferson, and that was a name that kept coming up in the comments as well. And people were trying to figure out where he really fits in the order right now. And for me, I said I definitely don't think he's top five anymore, but I do think he's somewhere between 5 and 10. And there was one guy who was saying, most leagues he's probably going to be the ninth or 10th pick. And I was thinking, like, I don't know if there's 8 guys I will put ahead of him. He threw out names like Kenneth Walker. He threw out names like JT. So, do you think those guys have jumped him at this point? And Kenneth Walker, I really don't fully
I don't
understand.
think
We haven't seen anything with Kansas City yet. He had a great run to end, but we've seen him not be that consistently. Everybody can have a great run, and
so.
he's
I
in a
think
completely new environment.
I think with Walker, he was just stuck in a committee that they just would not feed him. I don't know what that issue was. Like I feel like he got the ball in between the 20s, and then after that, it's straight Zach. Like it was just him. Do they feed him with Mahomes coming off an injury like that? Could be. Like
Could be.
could. It could definitely be that. Is Jettas? I think Jettas may be around 8-9. So, all right, you go Bijan, Chase, no order. Bijan, Chase, Gibbs. You're probably going. Jason's gonna be there. Puka's
Yeah.
gonna be there.
Yeah. You still got guys like CD, Amara. I don't know how you view those guys. That's seven.
Exactly. Like, and I'm just trying to do off the top of my head. So, like you said, so CD, Amon-Ra. If you add, that's seven right there.
Yeah. I don't, there's nobody else. I think that's kind of the list that was thrown out. And then they put in Walker. And I'm like, I don't think he's that guy. Somebody said JT, who had a great year last year, but consistently from year to year, you don't know what you're going to get from him. So I wouldn't necessarily go him ahead of Jettas. And then there's also the C Mac piece. It's like,
Like,
also,
like
are you
Bark,
willing to
like
deal with the injury? So
Bark
I
had a
get
down
why
year,
you're
but like
saying,
Bark had a
yeah,
down year, but like Bark
I didn't
went,
even think about Bark. Yeah, Bark there too. I completely forgot
Bark
about
went,
Bark.
Bark went fourth the year. Los went on fire with him. His
Yeah,
opioid like offensive player of the year season. So it's like,
yeah,
all right, you have not even said Jettas or C Mac yet. So it's like, you know, you may
yeah.
get him at like 9-10. You could literally get. I don't want to start, but like, does James Cook go top 10 now? Like, he had a great year.
Saw that name
He
too.
may
Yeah,
not, but like, guys that had like hot years last year, those are going to be the premier names. Like, so Puka, I feel like Puka, Amon-Ra, CD are probably definite in that 5 to 8 range.
yeah,
Now, if you're Chase, Bijan, and Gibbs have to go. Like, they
yeah,
have to.
for sure.
We're at like 7, 8 already. So I think just off of just
Yeah.
the board
So
itself, unless someone's doing something crazy.
no, no, you're right. I completely forgot about Bark when I was having that conversation. So I can definitely see there being at least eight that go before him. So I give my apologies to that guy. I was going back and forth with because he wasn't
And,
wrong.
and then you start getting into the guys that are like you're top, you're a number one, but like you're kind of like the back end of it. So it's like, where do you take like like a Nico Collins, and then
mm,
where are you going with I'm just like naming names like how far does DJ Moore drop? Like how far does like not that DJ Moore will go that high, but like even the running backs, like where does Derrick Henry go? Or like where does I mean it's a lot to factor in because Walker's gonna fall in that second round, like just
yeah.
off a run of backs and then him being the number one. So
So in terms of JJ, do we think that it's going to be a bounce back year? Do we think Kyler will be the guy that restores him to, top
has to
of the
be.
wide receiver listing?
It has to be. It has to be. Because if it's not Kyler, it's not going to be JJ. It'll just be another. He'll be disgruntled and he'll be looking for a trade if Kyler is not that guy.
Yeah.
Kyler can do it, but we know the issue with Kyler is not necessarily the stats. It's winning late in the season or getting to the playoffs or it's just always something with Kyler. It's always so. I think he's in a good position with that coach. I feel like he's done more with less of talent at quarterback. I mean, getting a couple wins out of JJ, I don't think he was that good at all. We saw what he was doing, previously. So I don't know. It's tough, man. Like but I think Kyler could be electric with him. He hasn't had nobody like that since D Hop, so
Good.
um, I think it could work. And they picked
Yeah,
up Juwan Jennings the other day, so I think
did
they
they?
got
I
a
didn't
nice
see that.
little three. Yeah, so they got him, Addison, and Juwan Jennings. I mean that would suffice.
Yeah, that'll do more than suffice. I was gonna say he got the
Yeah,
talent around him. You got those three. You got Hawkinson. The running back situation is a little iffy, but outside of that, you got a lot of talent. So
absolutely.
if Kyler can't do it now, I don't know when he's gonna be able to do it. It's probably his best last chance to me.
I believe so too.
Yeah. So got just a couple minutes left. Going into year three of the fantasy league,
Crazy.
what are your expectations? What are you feeling going in? How you feel about the league?
I think we're in a good place, man. I think the rookie stuff just adds the element that a lot of leagues don't have. That's not doing that. Like it makes you think. It makes you draft a couple. It if you want a rookie early, it's like you got to understand like you also need a position to fill because he's gonna have to be in the flex. So
Right. Yeah.
it's tough. I kind of missed my mark on my rookies a little bit last year. I took Golden and I was trying. Like the potential was there, and it was just like, man, I ended up playing dude from Seattle late in the season, and like he got me like two TDs. But I forget his name. Dang, 14. I forget him. You made.
I
He's
had him for
from
a second. I
Colorado
dropped him. I
State.
can't think of
He's
his
from
name.
Colorado State. Torrey
Yeah.
Horton. Yes, Torrey
Horton.
Horton.
Yeah. I had him for a couple of
Yes.
games. Let him go.
That's kind of how you got to play it. You know how cheese is with I gotta bounce back though. I gotta get to the chip. I gotta get to the playoffs at least. Like it
Yeah.
sucked being on the outside. I had chances, but my team just wasn't it at that point. Just stay out of last. But I think we got good parity, man. I think we've seen guys flip around. Los had an outstanding year. You had a solid year too. Um, Chance had one of the like we don't know how that season went,
I
but
don't
like
know how he does it. I never know how he does it, but he does
he's a GM man. He's a GM.
it.
Like he's a GM. So I think even Czech having all these picks now, like we got to see what his season's gonna be like. Cause he's pissed. Like
Yeah.
after how his season went, like those injuries, like that's why I don't laugh no more, man. It used to be funny. It ain't funny. So I'm interested to see how the season goes, man. Especially with the rookies and how guys think. Because a few guys, like you never know a chance,
Yeah.
and you just never know when someone's gonna make that move to, hey, jump the gun. So looking forward
Yeah.
to it. I'm gonna start to solidify the draft stuff soon, and then yeah, we get to it.
The one thing I will say about Chance is that I like dealing with Chance because he's easy to deal with in terms of trades and stuff like that. He's not some of the guys in the league, you know how it gets with the offers and stuff like
That's
that.
why I didn't even hit nobody. Y'all don't hit my just send me the trades, bro. Chance is like, yo, listen, my day is busy. What you want? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
He bought the business. He don't even be in the chat for weeks on end, but he when it's time,
hey,
he
what's
there.
going on? Yeah, send it. Like, so like
Yeah,
that's he's
but
good to
yeah,
deal with. But everybody else, I'm good on. Like, I'm good.
I definitely get it. It's a funny group of guys. Any shout outs before we get out of here?
Nah, man. We all set. We'll find someone new, man. We'll get someone new. Shout out to us, man. That's about it.
Yeah, hey, it was a good run we had.
Yes, sir. It was. I'm good.
All right, so we will catch next time, hopefully much sooner than it's been. Sudden Change Pod. We'll catch y'all later.
Yes, sir.